This is the weekly weather with Maxina and April, where no matter the forecast, it's always sunshine and snow.
Hello, my friend. Shall we open in prayer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your turn.
All right, I'll open us. Yeah. All right. Awesome, Father. Thank you so much for this beautiful day, and thank you so much for this beautiful chance to be together with beautiful friends. We ask that you bless this conversation, have your fingerprints all over it, lead us where we may go, and let it plant good seeds. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, how is the weather?
Well, it has been wet. These last couple of days have been stormy. I got in my Jeep after work yesterday and I had
Okay.
an inch and a half of water in my floorboard. I was like, are
Oh
you
no.
kidding me? Like, thank God it's a Jeep and they're meant for
That's
water, but
terrible.
like, what? It was crazy. That's how it was raining that hard, and it just
Thank God it's mental one.
it seeped
What?
in somewhere. It was crazy. I was like, oh my Lord. But the floorboards are still wet today, the mats, and so they smell bad. So now I gotta go deal with that, but whatever.
Uh,
But
so
no,
it like smell like feet.
other than the real weather being rainy and kind of gray, no, things have been good this week. Um, Productive, and I turned in a big bid, and yeah, it's been good. I'll be on a job site tomorrow, and but yeah, just keeping busy and staying focused, and so yeah, it's been real good. We planted yesterday, so
Hmm?
yay. We'll have the greens grown in a couple
Yay.
days,
Is
and
that, do y'all always plant,
do again.
do y'all always plant on Wednesdays? Or
Yes,
do you
yes,
always plant on Wednesdays?
yep. So this
Okay.
Wednesday's
Wednesdays are,
sowing is for two Saturday harvesting. So the stuff we harvest this Saturday, we planted last Wednesday. And so that gives everything time
gotcha.
to grow and do its thing. And um but yeah, so that's an
To look all pretty and flourish.
yep. How is the weather up there on your end?
Um, well, the sun is shining literally, and it's doing a little bit of that too as well in our lives. My aunt, I'm here to be with her and take care of her and help her. She had some doctor's appointments today, so we did that, and sort of a thing, when you go into town, you're going into town. You don't pop into an appointment and you do the stops and you do the things, because you come back and it's going to be a drive before you can go into the city again. So it was a nice, pleasant drive into the city. It was a beautiful day to be driving around, and I I'm really grateful. It's like there's always a lot of storminess. Bless you. There's always a lot of storminess in my life in a lot of areas, but there's a lot of things in my life that just sort of allows me to be what I feel like I'm called to be for the people I love in my life. And I'm really grateful for that. And anytime I can just kind of be a service to somebody I love, I feel like I feel like I'm at my most feminine, or like that's my most, like my highest calling is to just be there. And there's parts of it that's, frustrating, or like um, you just kind of you have to consider yourself second in most things when you're in that kind of position. So, um, I don't know. I'm just grateful for it. Maybe that's part of the looking rested is I'm at peace. And this is a place where, I had childhood, I have a lot of really good childhood memories. So I think that too is just sort of like emanates where I have this little bit of peace. And I'm here where my second book is, um, there's a lot in my second book that it was either inspired by this place or it came from here or is about here. So there's that and I'm enjoying that. But also I'm kicking myself because I don't think I'm going to make my second book deadline, the first one that I was setting for
What was your
myself. I
deadline?
really wanted it to be like out and ready. There is.
No.
It's supposed to be the anniversary of my mother's 10-year anniversary. 10-year death anniversary.
What date is
Death
that?
anniversary. 6/25.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't give you much time.
Yeah. No. No, I need to be like, you need to finish it. Well, and in May, I don't want to say sidetracked because it was put in front of me at a time that I felt was appropriate, but I put all of my focus in May on the showcase. I mean, even though the poems had already been written or whatever, it was like it was still a lot of mental space that it was taking up, and I was thinking about the vendor table too, and I was assembling that, and I mean, it didn't translate to sales right there on the spot, but I now have the inventory that I've been wanting, and every single time I do an event, I'm a little better set up on my vendor table, so I'm really happy about that. But my book took the back seat in the middle of all of that in the month of May. And I got it back. I got my book back at the beginning of May when I was supposed to be doing edits while I was up in Maryland
Mm.
in May, at the beginning of May. But I didn't. I've been mentally distracted. I've been spiritually distracted. I've been sort of just actually just kind of in enjoying a little bit of mental quiet, I guess. I don't know. Maybe since my first book came out, I took a little bit of a mental break, and maybe I needed one more than I thought. But it doesn't not make sense for me to bring out my memoir book on my 40th birthday. I
Right.
mean, I think that makes perfect sense. Honestly, even more sense than the first date. I just wanted there to be some sort of commemoration for my
Yeah.
mother on that date. So I kind of have to think, I'm sort of like in this place where I'm thinking of like, well, what else, in what other way can I honor her in that 10-year space? And it's not like this is huge thing. I mean, I didn't do that for my dad. He's been dead almost 18 years now. Um, and it wasn't like I was tracking it that way, but I don't know. Her death just affected me very differently because with my dad, I had access to, he was present in raising me. And so I had access to like the mirror that I had with him, but I didn't have it with mom. I didn't have mama's mirror. Like who am I in relationship with her? And so when she died, it was like you don't get that access anymore, you know. You lose a part of yourself. So yeah. So I don't know, I've mourned her differently. I've grieved her differently.
So maybe June 25th is a different celebration and it's not your book. Because
Yeah.
your book isn't her
Yeah.
anyway. Your book is you. She's just a feature in it.
Yeah.
So something different for her.
Yeah. 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 I think I had just, there's so much in the book that is tied to my grief,
Mm-hmm.
and the grief of losing her was in a lot of ways one of the handful of major catalysts in my life that sort of just formed its direction, you know. So, I guess I was just tying the grief of her death with the grief that is in the book. But maybe you're right, and maybe that's, part of why it's helpful to have the conversation out loud. And it's self-imposed,
Right.
nobody's demanding this book on 600, like, we thought you were gonna, like, no, that's not happening, okay? It's just me in my head going, you said you were gonna, and I hate letting myself down. I mean, if I were to be honest, I hit about 30 to 40% of my actual, like, goal set, and that includes, like, habit goals. I'm going to do this every day. Yeah, I don't do it every day. But I think 30-40% of 12 goals set is better than 100% of 2 goals set.
Right. Right. Still got more than me.
So I'm still doing all right.
I feel like a wise person once told me that sometimes your goals need to be reevaluated and just repositioned. You may not be getting there in this timeline right now where you thought, but you can reevaluate and say, oh, it just needs to be moved a little bit because I'm still on target, just not for that date. So give yourself that grace and you just move it just a little bit. You can't keep kicking it down the road forever, but you can make a realistic reevaluation of where you're at in the process. And I give you permission to do that. If you need external, I give it to you. I give it to you.
I do.
Look, sometimes
Thank you.
We can give permission to other people, we can give grace to other people, but we are so hard on ourselves, and we're like, but I didn't meet my goal. And it's like, okay, but the world didn't blow up. You're good. Just now do it, So if you can't give yourself permission, I'll give you permission.
Yeah.
So you can do it.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, maybe I do need that. I just need that permission, if you will. And I think, 2 to 3 months more, I think I'll be on target,
Yeah. It's not a lot that you have left to do. It's all written. It's the final dustings. Setting a few place settings on the table. It's just the finishing touches. You're there.
You are right. You are right. I could get the ball rolling, and you know what? And honestly, I felt like too when I was thinking about it last night. I was like, that has, it's sort of, it tickles something sweet in my brain that from February to September is about 7 months, and 7 months for my first book is it just to have its place, you know what I mean, as my only piece or whatever. Well, you know me and my numbers. So I'm like, well, okay, so maybe that's part of it too, is that this first fruits that I've created just needs more breathing space to exist by itself, that I can just sort of focus on, this is the book that's out, and I don't have to start immediately campaigning for book 2. So it is better. It's probably good. I just had this thing. And maybe the thing for my mom really just kind of needs to be a little more private anyway. Maybe my sister and I can do a thing, or maybe and honestly, one of her poems that's in that book is one of the most popular poems that gets requested all the time. So, maybe I can do something with it, put it out there in the world in a way or something, like, for you, Mama. So, thanks for talking me through that, friend. So I was kind of kicking myself. I was like, if you should have been more on it. And then I was like, I honestly, I should have done a little more of, and I did a little bit of my wins, like the inventory that I did for you. I did that a little bit, but if I had really, truly, honestly done it, I would have looked at it and been like, you've done so much this year, Max.
You
Like,
have.
really, it's fine.
Exactly. Well, let's see. I didn't even write it down, but we're going to start with Maxina's wins. Is she
No.
has shown up and hosted this podcast with me. She has
Okay.
successfully finished and published one book, held a very successful book launch. Let's see.
Yes,
So
yes.
far this year that I know of, that I witnessed personally, you've had 3 successful open mic nights. But I think there might be more because
Okay.
I wasn't invited to all of them. Let's see, what else? You are showing up for your family where you need to. You've successfully dropped everything and gone to take care. And let's see. Oh, you've
And
successfully.
technically, the Maryland trip wasn't really for me. I was there for my friend for that.
Exactly. That's funny because I was just about to say that one. Okay, I will hop in the car. I will go with you. I will support as you need to do this journey. So yeah, you've got a long list of wins as
Okay.
well. And we're only halfway.
Yes.
We are only
Yeah,
halfway.
that is true. One of my big wins, honestly, was there was a month before my tax return came. And I think it was even before I had a personal loan. But I think it was before that. There was a month that my bills were paid entirely by my income through my sales and business and client work. Like that my entire bills for that month was all, there wasn't, because you remember in February I had those 2 contracts finished that were like my regular income.
Yep.
I still have not replaced a regular income yet. Like I only have sales and client projects to sustain me right now. And I've gotten by. Oh, no. Remember, I settled with a credit card. That was a huge one.
Yep.
Number 11. And then I paid back personal debt that helped me settle that credit card debt. So technically, that was 2 huge wins for me personally. I was really, really, really thrilled about that. So I'll take that, a dozen wins. Thanks.
There you go. You are so welcome.
I needed that. Yeah, that's all right. I can wait till September for book number 2.
There
I'd
you
be
go.
just fine. And maybe that'll give me a chance to kind of sustain the anticipation for it a little more. But I was just like, you should have just been better. If you were writing more every day. I am very mentally distracted, spiritually distracted. I had that jealousy thing that I was telling you about, the feeling rejected, like somebody had taken something of my idea and gone off with somebody else with it. And I've just kind of been sitting with that. Did I send you the little like scripture snippet that I made that was like help me dealing with it. The James one.
Yep.
You got that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty certain.
So that one I feel like is softening. Okay. Because that one I feel like is sort of like softening my heart with like
Yeah. Sometimes we
un
have to just stop looking at what
unright.
somebody else has and remember
Yeah.
what we have.
Well, and I think the part for me was like it was the unrighteous ambition part,
Mm.
and that we're called to be peacemakers, and so there was one, it was like this, there was an element to it that I knew was like, I knew that I had prayed that if it was the right thing that it would come together and it didn't. And then I was mad that it didn't. But then I was also mad that it appeared somewhere else, not with me. It was
Right.
without me. And so then there was an element of rejection there, which also like was a catalyst for the jealousy of it. And so I was just really like I wanted to not retaliate, but just be like, well, I don't want to be a part of it then, like at all. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of where my brain goes when it was like, well, I just not ever, ever, ever again, ever, ever. And that wasn't really the right spirit to take about it either. So yeah, there's a little bit of spiritual wrestling in that.
Yeah, it's hard when we have really grand ideas and then somebody else ends up being in the right place at the right time to manifest that grand idea. But in this particular case, I like to think that that grand idea was you planting a seed for somebody else so that you could have time to tend this garden. Because I think what we're doing right now is very
Yes,
important. And if
you're
you
right.
were busy
Yes,
about
yes.
that,
This garden specifically.
if you were busy about that other one, you wouldn't be here with me doing this one because it would have been too taxing. Both
Well,
couldn't have
and
happened.
Well, and that's exactly right. And I'm telling you that though the potentiality for the partnerships presented themselves within weeks of each other. I mean, it was like one went away and then you came, like that opportunity waned and then you waxed. It was like literally within the same season. And so that was where like any lack of hesitation that I would have had made no sense because there was a confirmation in the spirit of it that I was like, oh, okay. So no, you're absolutely right about that. And I'm such a donkey. Like I'm like, yes, Lord, I want you what you want from me. And then I'm like, uh, Lord, why don't you want for me what I wanted for me? But it's that but it's that same thing where you were talking about like that like planting a seed. Do you know how many times it has happened to me over 10 years? Where I say something to somebody in anticipation to partner with them in some way, and then they instead run off with my ideas. I get two hands, okay, at least two hands. How many times this has happened to me? It's so frustrating. It makes me not want to say anything to anybody, and then I trust somebody for 2 seconds, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, great idea. I'm going to do that over here." I'm telling you, it's so infuriating. But again, maybe that's just the wrong attitude to begin with. It wasn't
Right?
mine to begin with.
It wasn't
It
yours.
wasn't mine to begin with. It was only a seed. It was only a seed for me to put in somebody else's brain.
Because they don't have the voice of the
Which is,
Lord.
I love to do that.
They couldn't hear the voice of the Lord. And so you had to be his voice and go, hey, this is the thing you're supposed to do. But we got caught up in the moment. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah.
you little seed planter, you.
So I just like let it go. I just gotta let things go. I don't. I'm not a very good that river thing that you sent me about like still waters.
Yes.
Um, where it's like you're still going in that direction. And I will say that any time, like in my prayers where I have been fitful for things, it was like it was that spirit of like, well, maybe I don't know what I'm doing in this moment, but I know that I'm going toward the Lord. My heart is set on Him. You know what I mean? It's like that's when I do have peace. It's like maybe it's not going my way, but I'm going the right way. I'm not fighting the current, at least. I know what that feels like, you know. And within the spirit. When you're out of the spirit, it's easy to be like a happy sinner, like, oh, this is great. You go with the flow and be sinning and be real damn happy. But the moment the spirit starts talking, it's like, oh, there's a stirring. What in that?
That's funny.
Lord help us. Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yes,
Lord
he
help
does.
us.
Oh,
We do, we
that's
do, we
good.
do. Not to shake my camera. Last week, I noticed I had done a lot of that. Like the computer camera picked up a lot of my always adjusting with my back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not stop moving. It was like every 2 seconds the camera was doing this, and I'm like, nobody's gonna enjoy this episode because I'll just gonna stare at April because she's not the distracting one, which is great anyway because you had a lot of great things to say last week as you tend to do.
Oh, yeah, last week was vulnerable. Whew. It was, I can't believe how vulnerable I felt and how short of an episode it was. And I don't know, but yeah, I cried a lot last week. I cried a lot last week.
There's been a few episodes in a row we've been crying together. We're like get together and like
We're like, we're having a great day. Boo, hoo,
maybe
hoo,
the
hoo,
season's a
hoo,
little rainier. Yes, we keep saying the sun is shining and then we cry. It's like I don't think that means what you think it means.
hoo. Oh, I love that. But yes, you know what though? That is just the complexity of who we are. And
Hmm.
you can
Yeah.
be very happy and at peace and still feel emotions. And I find it very
Hmm.
interesting the things that emote emotion within me. Um, Kiddo was
Hmm.
telling me about a show she was watching, and I watched an episode or two with her, and I was like, I don't like any of these characters. That character's selfish. That character's selfish. That one's selfish. That one's just a jerk. And that's the only redeeming person right there. That girl. That's it. The rest of them are poo poo. And so I stopped watching. And so that 2 days later, she's like, "Oh, I finished that series." I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And so she's telling me, and the end result is the main character dies, and the whole 4 seasons is about that character's journey, and she's leading up to and all these things, and the things that brought tears to my eyes wasn't her dying. Like that part was, oh, okay. But it was this moment and this moment and that moment. And I thought about it for a second and I said, that's so interesting that her death isn't the thing that made me tear up. I said, but in life, death doesn't tend to make me tear up either. Um, when my gran
Hmm.
was passing, because oh, this is just part. It is the next step.
Hmm.
It just is. And it's the other moments, the moment where in this particular story, the husband did something that for her that was super thoughtful, and the son worked extra hard to do something before she passed, and the father did something, and it was those things, the choices that people make to show that they care, that
Hmm.
gets me emotional and brings tears to my eyes.
Hmm.
Even when it's in a fake story, it can emote that within me because that is what's important. Because death comes. Nobody's going
Mm-hmm.
to get by without it. Like, this is the life we've been dealt. You will die. It will be physical.
Yes.
It's going to happen,
Even God went through death.
right?
Yes.
And so death doesn't take me by surprise. There are certain circumstances where there is that almost sounds too callous, and we discussed that before. But for the most part, like, death
Mm-hmm.
is just, it's part of the journey. It is the next step. It is expected. But it's the choices that we make along the way where we have the opportunity to show up and show someone how much we care. And those are the ones
Yes.
that bring the tear to my eye every time. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Well, that's the meaning of life, isn't it? I mean, what is the meaning of life but to take care of that what's been put into your sphere, the people, the things, the animals, the places. That's what. And then there was something I pulled from the scriptures recently in Ecclesiastes about. Oh, let's put that up. And it's like it's the meaning of life. It's what we get to do while we're here. Where to put it? Ecclesiastes 3:12 through 13. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. In Ecclesiastes, Solomon's like, meaningless, meaningless, it's all meaningless. And but then he comes down to this. It's like to be happy and do good while they live. What is doing good but to honor that which has been given you, to honor it well, to treat it well, to heal it when it's sick, you know,
Yeah.
and then to eat and drink and find satisfaction in all your toil. We have to work, we have to make a living, we have to, and so you might as well enjoy what it is that you contribute to the world, you know. We can be mad stink-faced about it, or you can say, "Oh, I have working parts that get to contribute to society, and thank God for that, and I'm going to go and have me a nice drink and a hot fish after this." I don't know. In a comment section one time on a poem, I don't know if it was a poem or what it was, somebody had said something about poets giving meaning to life, and I thought, that's not right. And I think it's that poets, and I think of Solomon in this too. I mean, very much a poet, and artists in general, observers. We don't give meaning to life. We point out, we recognize the meaning that's already there, and we call it out. And we put it on a canvas, or we put it on film, or we put it in writing. And we say, hey, look at this meaningful thing. Look at this meaningful thing. And it's easy if you're not looking at those meaningful things. And that's what art makes you do. It makes you look at those meaningful things, because otherwise you would just be going on to your toil and not considering those meaningful things. And so when you're in a space where you can contemplate those meaningful things, the toil makes so much more sense. It goes. And I think too, I have a perspective of God. So that's a blessing to be able to observe life through that lens too. This is an awfully contemplative conversation.
If it's not for you and it's not for me, it's for somebody. Somebody needed it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find it when they need it
Most
too.
certainly. Yes. One of the things that I really want to do when we have that retreat one day is to go through all of our old episodes and start purposely clipping out. And that's part of this I can do myself, but clipping out pieces that haven't been clipped out yet and putting them across our individual pages and things like that. Because I know that you've pulled out a lot of good nuggets, and Riverside does what it does, but I would just be interested in knowing, and we can ask our storm writers, go through our episodes. What would you clip out? What would you be snipping out of these conversations? Because they do get really thoughtful and sometimes funny, and I think that to me has been one of the most exciting things about showing up to just a comment, because I know, it's really for just like such a small subset of the population that can tune in to somebody else's conversation for a long time. But then to be able to segment that out and say, okay, well, here was a good nugget and here was a good nugget, and then be able to distribute that. And then maybe, there'll be a larger population that comes into the conversation itself. But, in the meantime of that, you and I are just in the space where we're just coming into a conversation every week, kind of in considering the others that can hear it or that will be in tune to it. But, we're not, and just so y'all know, storm writers, we're not scripting any of these things. We're not like, oh, we're going to talk about this, and we want to make sure we bring up that scripture. Like, no, we're just letting the conversation go where it goes. And, sometimes we'll have a conversation about strategy, but, strategy isn't necessarily the goal. The goal is just organic conversation, and let's see what we get out of that. So, but I think even just within the organic conversation, there's a lot to glean from, as far as just like how friends talk to each other. And I know that even seems silly, but I think that there's a lot of people out there who don't have good examples of what good, healthy friendships and conversations and things like that look like and sound like. In a lot of ways, I feel like I didn't necessarily have that. And so, like, by cultivating the culture of, like, well, what does that look like? How do you have those conversations? How do you show each other grace? How do you encourage one another in the good way? How do you build up discipleship in one another? What does that look like in real time versus just, hey, let's show up to a Bible study and get the bullet points on that, or let's read the scripture a whole bunch on that. But being able to see it in practice and in real time is kind of a different situation. And you don't get, people don't really get that opportunity to peek behind the curtain of individual conversations. You don't get that true fly on the wall opportunity in a lot of ways. Right. And I know that we're being especially vulnerable. We're being especially, probably in some ways, maybe unsafe and how much we're divulging about ourselves and our spirits and our hearts or whatever. If anything we say or do could catch fire anywhere, and it could be good or bad. You don't know.
That is
you don't
true.
know. And it could be our own people. It could be our own people coming after us. It could be the Christian community and say, oh, she said, damn, she's not really a Christian, whatever, whatever it is. People are going to say what they're going to say. And so, no, it's definitely been, I guess, all of that to say, to make a short story long, all of that to say, I am growing from these conversations. And so I'm grateful to be able to show up to them week after week and to see what comes of them today, tomorrow, or anytime. So, yeah, just let that be a part of the conversation, storm writers, that maybe inspires you to go forward with the thing that you thought maybe isn't for anybody but yourself, perhaps. Do the thing. Put one foot in front of the other. Yeah. Take your leaps of faith. You know, it's not easy. Like you were talking about last week, being vulnerable and singing, and based on what? Based on what others, how others are going to perceive it or do it. And I was thinking about that with my book. You know, it was like when I was so afraid to put it out there because of my little elementary sketches, like I know my cover doesn't look like other covers. Like I know it doesn't. But what am I going to do? Like wait around and, oh, I'm saving up the money to hire an artist for my book cover. Like no, I've just got to put it out there. I got to make sure it looks like everybody else. No, I had to put it out there. I have the stuff in writing. I have all of these poems. I can't just sit on them. I can't just hoard them. Put them out there. Like just I could die tomorrow. And I'm not gonna die waiting around for something to be perfect enough for other people to accept
Right.
it. I don't know. I just it's easy to think about what other people are gonna
Eat
think.
from the
Trust
good
me, I still live
china.
in that space. But
Eat from the good china.
yes,
Drink from the good
yeah,
crystal. Put the book out there. Put the painting out there. Sing the song. Dance the dance.
yes,
Just do it.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
that's that's exactly right. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly
Uh,
right. You should take a crack at poetry yourself, my friend.
I dabbled back in high school,
I
but
was about to say, you seem like somebody who would have written some poetry now. I feel
I'm
like you
kind of
probably have
sad that I
something in a
don't.
box somewhere.
I don't think I've got any of the. I had at least two really good ones. I think maybe even the third, um, from high school, and I had them for a long time. But who knows? High school was
Hmm.
for 40 years ago. Oh, no, that's not right. That's not right.
That's
Hold on.
You'd be like 30.
No,
No,
yeah, it's
you're only 10 years
36.
older than me, and
Yeah,
mine
it's
was
like
20 years.
36.
Like I
36.
graduated in 5.
2, 4, 34?
Okay,
34.
yeah.
I
See, there
don't
you
know the
go.
math anymore. I don't know anymore.
It's been too long since you were in high school.
26 plus 8, 34. No, okay, I had it right. 34. Yeah. No, I kept going
Okay.
off of my
Right.
my age instead of off the year, and I'm going, that's not. What am I doing? It's not right. Anyway, it was still a long time
Yeah,
ago.
well, I
34
mean,
years
you
ago.
could have been in high school when you were 10 years old. I don't know how smart you were. Maybe you were a savant or something at 10 and
Yeah.
lived through high school and wrote poetry and then had a head injury or something, and now you work at a boxing company.
Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah, that's a great one. We could write a whole story around it. We could
So, okay,
biography by
here's a
April's.
funny story. Carl and I went out for dinner and drinks, and I couldn't decide what beer I wanted with my dinner, and so I just went with a Stella because it's a nice beer. It's like a no risk
It's
involved,
fine. Yeah.
nice beer, right? And so Carl's like, "Oh, you're getting a Stella in honor of Aunt Stella. That's so sweet." And then the next thing you know, he and I are telling this story about this Aunt Stella. And I mean, it's an evolved story. And if anybody had walked up, I apparently have an Aunt Stella who has passed away. So then a couple
Yeah.
weeks go by, and Youngin is joining us for dinner. And I order a Stella. It's become my thing at this particular place now because I just have to. And so Carl invites her to take a moment and speak on Great Aunt Stella. And she just as though she had been rehearsing this her whole life. Like she knows this. This is our. I said,
This person was living, breathing, had DNA.
and I'm just laughing so hard. I was like, there's going to come a day where our memories don't work anymore, but we're going to remember Great Aunt Stella, and everybody else is going to be like, who? And we're going to be like, Great Aunt Stella. Like,
You
she
mandala
plays
yourself.
piano. She haunted my house. What do you mean you don't know her?
That's so funny.
Because
You gave yourself the Mandela effect. It was
stories are just so real that we've created around this woman. And it's just the most ridiculous thing.
Oh, that is so great.
But
That's
she didn't even
awesome.
blink.
That's
She didn't
awesome.
even blink. She just went right into it. She went, "Oh, I totally remember her. She da 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 da." It just went with it, and I was like, trying to keep a straight face. It was so hard.
Apple, tree. Trees, apple.
Oh goodness, it was
That's
fun.
all I gotta say.
Right.
That's all I got. That is awesome. No, that's well, and honestly, that is a fantastic. That's a writing prompt right there. Create a fake story off of a real thing. You know what I mean? It's like just
Right.
like go like yes, yes, yes. That is 100% encourage the imagination journey there. That is so fantastic. That is so fantastic.
Oh,
When it's like each story gets wilder and wilder, and then like suddenly you want to meet this person. Like, gosh, I really look up to Stella.
I miss her.
That's why writers create the heroes they never met. They never got to meet. That's that is I am absolutely
Yeah.
sure that's a thing.
Oh, that's good.
Versions of ourselves, usually versions of ourselves we never
Right.
get to
There's
meet.
little bits of people in there because it came from somewhere, but that one individual
Mhm.
does not exist. But we made her. We
Yes,
made her.
no.
And it's great.
That is great. You should write a poem about Stella. That's what I would like. Practice your writing chops along with your imagination chops. Get that going.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some poetry. I'm gonna get you up on the open mic. That's what I'm gonna do. That's my personal goal for.
well, the good news
I don't know.
is
I'll
open
give
mic
myself.
is not just poetry. And maybe
Correct.
that's where the book that I'm supposed to write makes its debut.
Okay.
I keep thinking back to you. I have to scroll back to it. It's the homework assignment is in my text somewhere, and I have been thinking on it lately. I have been thinking on it.
The intro.
Yeah. The
Okay.
you know which book I'm talking about.
Was that the homework assignment? I guess?
Well,
The pre
I don't
so
even
to write the
remember what it
preface.
was. I just have been thinking on it. I was like, oh no, she gave me a homework assignment to get started on this. I need to actually go back and
Do that.
actually read it and maybe start. But
Yeah.
it's when the world gets in the
Yeah,
way, and
Bible
so
study homework
there's
assignments I
things that
haven't
are
done. Yeah.
deemed more important. So you let them take
Yeah.
the lead for a little while, and then it's like, oh, I forgot I wanted to do a thing. And so it has
Yeah.
been surfacing.
Remember, good. Because remember the little quote thing earlier is art helps define life's meaning,
Yeah.
And so if you're too busy, that's probably exactly when you do need to dive into art, is to keep connected to your humanity.
Ooh. Yes. Dive into your art to remain connected to your humanity. I like it. That's going to be a tote
Hmm.
bag or something.
I dig it. I'm
Uh,
into it. Which that's another thing we'll do on our retreat. Oh, that one can be on a tote bag. Let's just see what people want. Give the people what they want. It's a lot of fun. Well, I mean, you have so many like artistic minded, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of fun things we can do here with all of that. But yes, do your art. Do because you have the homework assignment.
All right, it seems like it's wanting to break
You have
up
that
now
homework assignment, which
and
I'm
not record. So
sure.
I'm hoping that I didn't lose you
I
because
still
I
have
do not
51,
hear
28,
you.
29.
Oh, there you are.
You do hear me? Okay. My timer has kept going. It hasn't stopped, and
Yeah,
I have the
your
box
face
going.
was
I have
still and
your
I
box
couldn't hear you.
going.
Yeah, your face was still and I couldn't
Okay.
hear you. So
But you're good now.
yeah, but we probably
But
should
we're good
wrap up
now.
soon
Okay.
because that's always a signal.
Soon.
It starts doing
Okay.
stupid stuff.
Well, then maybe that is a good place just to end because I was going to say the homework assignment for the thing, which I'm pretty sure was I told you to do like a preface, the why of why this book is written, why you would write it for other people to read it, etc., etc., and that helps sort of like solidify your own why. The second one is, have you done your Bible study homework? Because I haven't,
Oh, the letter?
so I need to do that. The letter,
Oh, girl, that's
yeah.
been turned in. I think I'm the only one who's actually turned one in. So- Ken said
Good job,
someone
Hermione.
emailed him one or something, but there's like one other. But yeah, no, I
Okay.
almost was
Well,
afraid to
that's
give
just
it to
I'm
him.
projecting.
I was almost afraid to give it to him. I was like, Carl, read this. And Carl was like, oh, and I was like, uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to read yours now.
But yeah.
I just haven't. I haven't done that, so I need to do that. So you do your preface, I'll do my Bible study homework. And then how are you on your self-care? That was one of the last goal things that we had talked about was your self-care.
I have not been taking bubble baths or, spending 20 minutes in front of a mirror. However, I have been finding time to be connected mentally and spiritually with the man I love, which has just brought a new joy. Like we've been sneaking off and finding just quiet moments to just sit and hang out, not planting seeds, not going over this or that, but actually just being together. So that's been good. I mean, 30 years, you got to do something, right?
Yes.
Because we got to get another
Yes.
30. I want another 30. So,
And you
I
absolutely
mean, in
can
30
and,
years, I'll
and
be
should.
82. That is a completely reasonable ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 82 is still young.
Yep.
82 is still
So,
young if you're taking good care of yourself.
so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
All right. Well, I love that.
Yeah.
That I think too perhaps informs another conversation that I'm having with another sister. So thank you for that. I'm glad to hear it, and I love you, and happy editing. And I'm glad the sun is shining in your neck of the woods.
You as well. Take care.
I love.
Thank you for joining Maxina Sunshine and April Snow on the Weekly Weather. Like and follow to catch our next conversation.